In the dawn of time, when the earth was young and humanity walked in the shadow of giants, a story was written not in ink, but in courage and faith. This is the tale of an angel, a messenger of the Most High, who stood against the inevitable, who fought the very specter of death itself. Our story begins in the land of Canaan, a place promised by God, yet fraught with peril. Here lived a man named Hezekiah, a king righteous in the eyes of the Lord. He had cleansed the land of idols and restored the temple, his heart a beacon of devotion. But a shadow fell upon his kingdom, not from an invading army, but from within. A grave illness seized him, and the prophet Isaiah, the voice of God, came to him with a heavy message. Thus says the Lord, set your house in order, for you shall die and not live. Imagine the weight of those words, a divine decree, a final sentence. The walls of the palace seemed to close in, the light of the sun dimmed. Despair, a cold and suffocating fog, filled the king's chamber. Hezekiah, his body racked with pain and his spirit crushed, turned his face to the wall. He did not curse his fate, nor did he rage against the heavens. Instead, he prayed. His tears were not just of sorrow, but of a deep, abiding relationship with his Creator. Remember now, O Lord, he wept, how I have walked before you in faithfulness and with a whole heart, and have done what is good in your sight. It was a prayer born from the depths of a soul facing its end, a desperate, heartfelt plea. And the heavens listened. The universe held its breath. Before Isaiah had even left the middle court of the palace, the word of the Lord came to him again, a current of divine mercy reversing the tide of fate. Return and say to Hezekiah, the leader of my people, God commanded, I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. Behold, I will heal you. God not only promised healing, but also an extension of life, 15 more years. And as a sign, a miracle to anchor this incredible promise, God would make the shadow on the sundial of Ahaz go backward 10 steps. A bending of time, a defiance of natural law, all to show one faithful man that he was not forgotten. While this divine conversation took place, another unseen battle was unfolding. As Hezekiah's life force waned, the angel of death, the somber harvester of souls, descended. His presence was not of malice, but of duty, an ancient and unyielding law. He moved through the mortal plane, a silent, inexorable force, his purpose to escort the king's spirit from its failing vessel. He approached the royal bed, his form a swirl of shadow and starlight, ready to fulfill his solemn task. But as he reached for the king, another figure appeared, blocking his path. It was an angel of the Lord, radiant and powerful, bathed in a light that pulsed with divine energy. Let us call him Raphael, the healer, though the scriptures do not name him. He was a being of pure will and celestial might, sent not to destroy but to protect. His eyes, like burning coals, held no fear, only the unshakable resolve of his commission. The angel of death paused, his ancient, sorrowful eyes meeting the fiery gaze of the celestial warrior. A silent communication passed between them, one bound by the laws of mortality, the other by a direct command from the throne of grace. The air grew thick, charged with the power of these two immense beings. The fate of a king, the will of God, hung in the balance. He is mine by law, the angel of death might have said. His voice the rustle of dry leaves, the sigh of a final breath. His time has come. The guardian angel stood firm, his hand resting on the hilt of a sword forged in heavenly fire. He is his by mercy, Raphael's voice would have echoed, not with sound, but within the soul itself. The Almighty has heard his cry. His time is not yet. A cosmic struggle began, not of clashing swords, but of conflicting authorities. The shadows deepened, swirling around the angel of death as he pressed forward, the cold of the grave emanating from him. The light from the guardian angel intensified, a fortress of divine warmth and life, pushing back the encroaching darkness. It was a battle of principles, the finality of death against the infinite possibility of divine intervention. The room became a microcosm of the universe's greatest questions. Does fate rule all? or can faith move the hand of God? For Hezekiah, lying helpless, this was not a theological debate but a fight for his very existence, waged on a plane he could not see. He felt the chill of the abyss, and then a surge of warmth, a flicker of hope that was more than just his own. The guardian angel, empowered by the fresh decree of the Almighty, stood as an immovable mountain. His authority was absolute, for it was the Lord's own. He was not just an angel. He was the embodiment of God's newly spoken word, the carrier of a reversed verdict. The angel of death, who serves the natural order established by God, could not defy a direct, superseding command from the author of that order. With a final, silent acknowledgement of a higher power, the angel of death withdrew. The shadows receded, the chilling presence vanished, and the oppressive weight lifted from the room. The specter of death had been turned away, not by mortal medicine or human might, but by a tearful prayer and the unyielding defense of a heavenly messenger. The battle was over. Mercy had triumphed. Mercy had. Back in the physical world, Isaiah returned to the king. He prescribed a simple remedy, a poultice of figs to be placed on the boil. It was a humble act of medicine, yet it was the vessel through which God's miraculous healing would flow. It was a reminder that God often works through the means he has already provided, sanctifying the natural to perform the supernatural. And the sign. The shadow on the steps did indeed retreat. Time itself bowed to the will of its creator. The sun's journey was altered, a cosmic spectacle as a private signature on a promise to a beloved king. Hezekiah recovered. He rose from his sickbed, his body restored, his spirit reborn. He would go on to live those 15 promised years, a living testament to the power of prayer and the boundless compassion of God. He wrote a psalm, a song of thanksgiving, pouring out his heart. I said, in the middle of my days I must depart. I am consigned to the gates of Sheol for the rest of my years. But you have held back my life from the pit of destruction, for you have cast all my sins behind your back. This story, the angel who fought death, is more than an ancient legend. It is a profound truth etched into the heart of faith. It teaches us that even when facing the most final of ends, when doctors shake their heads and hope seems a distant memory, there is a power we can appeal to. It shows us that God is not a distant, unfeeling monarch, but a loving Father who sees our tears and hears our faintest whispers. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. Unseen forces are at work. Celestial battles are waged on our behalf. The story of Hezekiah and his angelic defender is a promise that when we turn to God with a whole heart, He will move heaven and earth for us. He can command angels reverse time and rewrite our final chapter. So when you find yourself in the valley of the shadow, when your strength fails and your spirit is low, remember Hezekiah. Turn your face to the wall, not in despair, but in prayer. Pour out your heart to the one who holds all authority over life and death. For you do not know what angels may be standing guard, what divine decrees are being issued on your behalf, and what miracles are waiting to unfold. Faith is the victory that overcomes the world, and even at times the specter of death itself. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of Scripture's most powerful moments. If this story has inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more tales of faith and divine wonder. May you walk in the light and protection of the Most High.